Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, I'm Dian Anggraini. You can call me D. Glad seeing you here. And today we're going to learn one of the interesting text English, that is narrative text. First thing first, pay attention to a short story that I will give to you. Ready? Check this out. The title of the story is The Shepherd Boy and the Wolf. A shepherd boy tended his master's sheep near a dark forest not far from the village. Soon he found life in the pasture very dull. All he could do to amuse himself was to talk to his dog or play on his shepherd's pipe. One day, as he sat watching the sheep and the quiet forest, he was thinking what he would do if he see a wolf. He thought of a plan to amuse himself. His master had told him to call for help if a wolf attacked the flock, and the villagers would drive it away. So now, though he had not seen anything that even looks like a wolf, he ran toward the village, shouting at the top of his voice, "Help! Help! Wolf!" As he expected, the villagers who heard the cry dropped their work and ran in a great excitement to the pasture. But when they got there, they found the boy doubled up with laughter and a trick he had played on them. A few days later, the shepherd boy again shouted, "Wolf! Wolf! Help!" Again, the villagers ran to help him, only to be laughed at her again. Then one evening, as the sun was setting behind the forest, and the shadows were creeping out over the pasture, a wolf really did spring from the underbrush and fall upon the sheep. In terror, the boy ran toward the village and shouting, "Wolf! Wolf!" But though the villagers heard the cry, they didn't run to help him as they had before. "He cannot fool us again," they said. And finally, the wolf killed a great many of the boy's sheep and then slipped away into the forest. The end. Well, how's the story? Amusing, isn't it? What can you get from the story? Yes, if you keep lying, no one will believe you, even if you are speaking the truth. So the point is, always speak the truth. Okay, talking about story means we will discuss one of the genres of the text. So what text is it? Yes, it's narrative text. What is narrative text? Narrative text is a story with complication or problematic events, and it tries to find the resolutions to solve the problems. An important part of narrative text is the narrative mode, the set of methods used to communicate the narrative through a process of narration. So, based on the definition, the purpose of narrative text is, of course, to amuse or to entertain the reader with a story. Talking about the paragraphs means we talk about the structures of the text, and the generic structures of the narrative text are first, orientation, second, complication, and the third one is resolution. Let's discuss one by one. Orientation. So what is orientation? Orientation is sets the scene, where and when the story happened, and introduces the participants of the story, who and what is involved in the story. Let's find out on Shepherd Boy and Wolf story. First paragraph said, a shepherd boy tended his master's sheep near a dark forest not far from the village. Soon he found life in the pasture very dull. All he could do to amuse himself. From the paragraphs, we can find out the characters of the story. That is the boy and the sheep. Where was it? It is on a very dull pasture. And where and when was it happens? It happens in the afternoon and the evening. Okay, let's go on to the second structure. That is complication. This part tells us the beginning of the problems which leads to the crisis or climax of the main participants. From the shepherd boy and the wolf story, what problem which leads to the climax? Yes, when the boy shouted from the second time, he deceived the villagers by pretending a wolf came. And how about the last structure? The last structure is the solution. What's on this part? In this part, the problem or the crisis is resolved, either in a happy ending or in a sad or tragic ending. Can you find out from the story which part? Yes, when the wolf really came and the boy cried was ignored by the villager. Finally, wolf killed the sheep. Okay, now let's talk about the tenses that use on narrative text. What are narrative tenses? From the story, we usually find some sentences such as a shepherd boy tended, I sat watching the sheep, he was thinking, he had not seen, he expected, they got there. What does it mean? It means that narrative uses past tense, such as simple past, past perfect, and past continuous. Simple past, such as he sat watching the sheep, or he expected, subject, verb plus, verb 2. And past perfect, for example, in the sentence, he had not seen a wolf. Had, and then followed by verb 3. And the last is past continuous. On the sentence, he was thinking, subject, to be was or were, and followed by verb 1 plus in. Okay, but on the dialogue, we may use both present and past tense. You got it? Okay, now have you ever known about fable or legend or etc.? Yes, both are types of narratives. There are many kinds of narrative texts, but here are 4 types of narratives. First is fable. Fable is a story about animals which behave like humans. Second one is myth. Myth is a story that is believed by some people, but the stories cannot be true. It was told in an ancient culture to explain a practice, belief, or natural occurrence. The third one is legend. What is legend? Legend is a simple story which relates to and how a place is formed. For example, Tangkuban Perahu, Malin Kundang, etc. And the last is fairy tales. Fairy tales is a story which relates much with magic things such as Cinderella, Red Riding Hood, and etc. Okay, we've done now. We're running out of the time. We have learned a lot about narratives. So how is it going now? I hope you learn more about narrative. Okay, class. See you on the other interesting subjects. Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.